The back of the nail has come up and torn a hole in the top of my toe. Sort of pushed it back and hoped that the skin would heal over the top. So when the lid came down, smashed across my toe. I think I've cracked a bone in there. They didn't detect any. Anyway, it feels like a broken bone. Yeah, so I think they're gonna have to take the nail off. I'm going back on Monday, so I'm not too happy about that. But I'm supposed to be going to sea on Tuesday. There's a weather window coming. I daren't miss it. So yeah, action-packed life, eh? Anyway, I'm going to try and put the rudder on for the hydrovane, and then I'm going to go to town and get a fixing to put through. Hopefully that'll be done then. Yeah. Oh wow. Working out how to fix the hydrovane rudder. Got a few bits and bobs here, and I think I'm going to go to town, or hobble to town and buy some bits as well. Will do the job. I've modified a shoe by cutting a hole in there so my toe can peep through. Did try this at sea, hanging off the back here to work down there. No, it's a bit too scary. Right. Okay, honey, there you go. Yeah, that was easy. That's basically the repair. At least it's on. I might alter a few things later, but she's got the nice safety rope. Yeah, when she came off, she was bouncing around underneath the boat. Hell of a noise. Canadian boat just came in. I was listening to them on the radio late last night. They were standing off until daylight. Lots to do today. Feeling much better, but I just stubbed my toe again. The swearing was unbelievable. I actually ended up for a while buddy boating with this boat, not Safety and its crew, Brent and Mary. Got force-fed rum last night over there. Basically, I'm leaving and it's not going to be good weather, but they tell me at this time of the year there isn't good weather. That doesn't happen. But you have to cross this part of the ocean in order to get to the next bit, which is, of course, Africa. So, got to be here. My foot is still causing me problems. I should have gone to the hospital today, but they were going to remove the nail. I've decided that I think I want to keep my nail for a bit longer. And also, if I have an operation today, and I've got to go to sea tomorrow, that wouldn't be good. It's stabilized at the moment. I'll have somebody look at it when I get to La Reunion, hopefully in 4 or 5 days. Also, it depends on here. When you sign out of the country, apparently it's quite complicated. The people are nice here, but with hurting my foot and stuff, and this being a bit of a dodgy anchorage, you get all the weather here. It's not been stress-free, but people are lovely. People are lovely. As always, I always say that everywhere I go, and it's true. People are lovely. There's this guy wrote to me once. He said, "Barry, I'll sort you out a good handgun." I'm like, why? He says, "You go to all these places, you need a handgun." I'm like, no, you don't. That's bullshit. That's bull. Most people in the world are nice. As I had a lot to do, and of course I was injured, the officials let me come alongside to the harbour wall to help with preparations for leaving. But the harbour wall was meant for ships, so I had to be careful. I need to leave fairly soon. The weather doesn't look very good. I'd rather be at sea when it gets bad. I've got lots of space there. And I need to get through these reefs, and the tide's going out, which is what I want, because it'll be with me on the way out. But I don't want to leave it too late, because it'll be really super duper shallow and scary. So they better get a move on. I need to get out of here. Right, I'm nearly ready. I'm going to do engine oil and things like that now. It's always panic on a leaving day. The Coast Guard. I have to say a big thank you to the Coast Guard of Rodriguez Island. When I got hurt, they were there for me, came out in a boat and took me off to hospital. So thank you guys. And so it starts again, back to the fight.
I was expecting this. I knew it was going to happen. Pretty dreadful weather, big waves, lots of wind, lots of scariness. The look on my face of apprehension and whoop, there you go, nearly fell over. That's for real. And this was the first time I ever felt that I needed to wear safety harness while I was still in the cockpit. It was that rough. I felt like it was going to throw me out of the boat at times. But of course, eventually the weather did come down. Well, when I said it came down, it came down a bit. I could take my jacket off and have a look out, and then of course it came back up again. It never seems to ever fail to amaze me, just the power of the sea. How careful you've got to be when you're out there, really.
Pulling up into the wind. There's nothing I can do about it. Our course is actually down there. Rudder's still on, that's one thing. Wow, surfing. Go, we're surfing a 13-ton boat. Only because I'm holding the helm. If I let go, she's just going to go away. Whoa. Wait. Evening has come and no let up. And it started to blow really, really hard, and I'm a bit worried about my solar panels, but there's not much I can do about it now. At last, 3 days of living down here. The weather's improved enough for me to get back on deck. Son of a... Just climbing out. We haven't taken any weight. Oh.
Uh-oh, is this the return of the bad-tempered sailor?
In the boat as well, some of it. Look! Got this here because the hatch is leaking. Bet you thought that was funny, didn't you?
The next bit is not so funny, but it is serious. I had to put the vane back on the hydro vane, the self-steering system. I decided to do that. The weather was coming down, so time to get him back in action again, and he was working good. So, onward. Meeting a ship in the middle of a squall. It's close. Yuck. Taking the time just to sit down and enjoy some homemade bread, some coffee, and some cool lighting effects, the old style way.
To celebrate the calm weather, I'm celebrating being in the Indian Ocean with a curry and and a starter of curried tomatoes. Oh, doesn't get much better than that. Lovely.
It was also a good time to take care of my injury. I was changing the dressing 3 times a day, and I had to be so careful because this is the tropics. Things can get infected very easily. And I had to cut away some dead skin and make a decision on when to pull my nail off, because that's what I was going to do.
Got the duct tape here. That's very important. Duct tape should be in every first aid kit, especially when you're taking a nail off. I can't show you the full gruesomeness of that, but it is kind of gruesome close up. Yeah.
The next day, it was as miserable as ever. But I wasn't miserable because out of the mist and rain, there it was, La Reunion.
So it's a dilemma I knew I was going to have to face. I arrived at the island, but I have to go across the top of it where there's very little wind, which is nice. It's calm, the sea is finally down, very restful, but I can't rest because the marina is on the other side. And with the wind and the speed that we got now, there's no way I can make it before nightfall. In fact, I think they close up shop about 4. I've tried calling the port captain, no answer. I've been speaking to the Coast Guard, they don't want to know. Basically, I've got to find a place to stop for the night. I'm just going to be without permission. You should ask permission. So I think I found a spot, but then I look closely and it's a regulated place. You're not supposed to stop there. So I might have to be a bit of a pirate because I can't do this all night long. I'm tired.
My long ride around gave me a chance to do some sightseeing. Apparently there's 1 million people live on this island. They built all over the place, except for this bit. This is a way of getting around the island without going through it.
This is my home for the night.
You definitely are not supposed to anchor here. It is or was listed as an anchorage, but now they built this, it's forbidden. But I did it anyway because I had nowhere else to stop. Everywhere else was too deep, or I was getting into an industrial area, and I didn't want to do that. To avoid any problems, I decided to leave early in the next morning.
And we're coming out of stealth mode. Yeah, I wanted to get away before sunup. I know I was kind of bending the rules a bit then, but staying there last night, but I really had no choice. I had to stop. I couldn't stand any longer, and she was getting dark. And yeah, so that was the safest and most sensible thing to do. So we like to bend the rules a bit because we're a pirate. As long as we do it safely, that's okay. Now then, we're going to go away and out.
La Reunion, this was going to be my last Pacific island. After this, it would be Africa.
Alarms going off everywhere, fishermen over there.
After a kind of tight squeeze getting in with some shallow water, I finally found my way to a berth. I cleared customs. I could stop, relax, and enjoy the peace and quiet. For sure, Shadi and I both needed a rest. I decided to do some exploring, found out that water sports are actually banned on this island because there were too many people being eaten.
And so the tidy up begins. Where you look, it's just a big mess. Those clothes I've worn for like 2 weeks. Man, they're not coming in the boat. I'm stripping the decks clear so I can get some work done. I told them I want to stay in this part of the marina for a while because this is the work area and I want to do some grinding. I think that's had its day. Clean sheets on the bed. It's a bit cooler here, so some of the crew are wrapping up. I've got a clean shirt on. Apparently they've got beer down the jetty there. Yeah, I made friends with the local rigger, so I'll probably stay in this part of the marina for a few days where I can get some work done on the boat. So that's good. He showed me where the shower was, and I managed to have my first shower in I don't know how many weeks. I'm having a well-deserved vodka and tonic. It was supposed to be gin and tonic, but I picked up the wrong bottle in the supermarket out of one of my jam jars, and that's wonderful. And the other thing, I keep all the old change. I'm going to give it all to charity. I've got change from all different countries because you don't know what to do. There's shrapnel, we call it in Britain. I have shrapnel, bottles and bottles of it. And I realise I've got some euro, which they were in the bottom of the boat because that's what they've got here, euro. I'm going to get some euro here for a beer. So I just reckon I got 17 euro 50. And I got 15 euro notes as well, so that's like over 30 euro. That should give me a couple of beers. Life is good.
Found out that along this quayside there's a small yacht club and a fishing tackle shop that sell beer. Paradise found. Had a look around the island. It's kind of a weird looking place and bits of its history all over. These guns, it's obviously got a checkered past. I think it's passed through a few hands in its time. Ended up with the French rule that we have now. Wherever you look, it's dramatic. The scenery is wonderful, and so is the boatyard. I love boatyards, as you probably know. This is just gorgeous. Look at that. Somebody's fixing that thing up. And one of the best cruising boats is this. It's an aluminium French-made boat with a lifting keel. I would give both arms for one of these, I tell you what. And they're not cheap. Although the staff are friendly, I did have problems with communication when I came in. Couldn't understand where they wanted me to go. So when I heard my friends on Not Safety were coming in, I decided to go meet them in the dinghy and help them out.
Yeah, you go in there, follow that guy. It's a little bit crowded. I think you'll be down the far end because you'll see me just now. That's me there.
With the guys safely put alongside, I decided to go and investigate the town itself. There's an old rundown part which I preferred. It's where people used to live before they sort of built it up, built the modern part, if you like. I mean, who lived here? I mean, who lived at number 13? What do they do here? How many babies were made here? How many people romanced each other from that balcony? Who was that guy? Did they own this anchor? In fact, were they ever living in that house at all? Could have been living in this house, for example.
Friends. friends. Just out for some friends and there's a shopping basket for two.
Looking back at the footage now, I never quite understood what was going on. We'd had a few beers and we stopped to talk to these fish that were in a shopping basket. Obviously, they were more stoned than we were because we went in a shopping trolley and they were. And we were speaking French and drunkenness, so there you go. And then I bumped into these guys.
Hey, Nandi! Yo!
Hello, Seadog!
There we go, there's a thumbnail right there. Excellent, you take care. So I've been here a week and they picked the hottest day so far to ask me to move the boat. They have a big catamaran coming in and I wanted to say, well, that's your problem, not mine. I'm quite happy here. But they want me to move, so got to be nice. Got to move the boat, means I've got to get some squeak on the deck, do some checks, and they should be over there in 20 minutes to help me in. So with that having been said, all right. The facilities will be a bit nicer there, but I do enjoy boatyards. I just love the ambience of the boat. You get people working on boats, and there's a fella over there lives on an old lifeboat and stuff like that. Yeah, it's just characters. I hate these hidden entrances. Right, quite narrow, looking good. I'm just worried about the depth. And I been shopping, restocking the boat, doing a little comparison. That's normal toilet paper, and this is French toilet paper. Merde!
Many thanks for watching. Many thanks to my patrons for being there for me and just making this all possible. Thank you so much. If you're interested in being a patron, check out all the details in the video description. That can be found here on the media. You take care of yourselves, and we'll see you next time on Adventures in Old Seadog.